Streaming. Connection is excellent. Make it public. I'm the king of the noobs when it comes to streaming. Let's see if this works. Oh, I'm about to hit the button. I'm about to go live. And I think it's working. I think it's working. Not sure if it's live. I'm gonna check here. I'm going to click on the stream. Yeah, it's live. Oh my God, there's people here. What's going on? Hey. Yeah, it's lagging a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and close this. All right, I'll come back to the chat. So, welcome to my live stream. I finally got this set up. Took me forever to set it up. People have been asking me to stream. I'm not looking at the chat yet, but I will in a second. And I got a setup going to where I can show you some books. I have so many books, and I thought it would be really cool to just do like a live stream, just show you some books. Like just take a look at some of these books. We can go through them and just talk about what's in them, talk about the pros and cons and stuff. And I've only picked a few books. There's a couple here, but I picked books that I've spent some time with and that I've read portions of them. I've done exercises from them. So they're pretty good books. I'm just going to check the chat really quick before we get started, just to see if people are actually in the chat, because I'm using OBS to stream this, and so it's kind of hard to see. I'm going to 1 second. Going to YouTube just to make sure that the stream is still live. Last time I streamed with my phone, and the whole stream was sideways, and it was really bad, and I ended up deleting the stream. So hopefully this stream is working okay. I'm really bad at technology. Oh my God, there's people here. Oh, I'm gonna chat. Oh. That's awesome. The microphone's really far from my keyboard, so yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, so I'm gonna minimize this because I want to be able to see what you see. All right, we're back. So let's start with this book here. This book here is pretty good. It's not perfect. Okay, it's definitely not like the best book ever, but it's a book, and it's on something called partial differential equations. So let me just tell you what that is and what it's for, and then we'll talk about the book. So first of all, in order to learn partial differential equations, you first want to learn what's called ordinary differential equations. And to learn ordinary differential equations, you have to know some calculus. In particular, once you know like some Calc 2 and you can do integrals, you can learn differential equations. And usually, like if you take a class in college on differential equations, you'll have to take like Calc 1, Calc 2, and then you can take the class. This book is on partial differential equations, so it does require some Calc 3 actually, because there's some multidimensional concepts in this book. And it's by Walter Strauss. The worst part about this book, well, there's two parts that I don't like. So one, it's a hard book to read. It's really clean, the layout is good, but the concepts are tough. And two, there are some errors in the answers in the back of the book. This book has caused me a lot of pain, but I like the book. I used it for a course. Let's open it up. See if you can see okay. Someone signed it there. Preston Shanavki. No, it's not me. Don't know who that is. Partial differential equations and introduction. That's cool. Pages are really good quality. Really want to smell it, but I have to move it out of the camera. I'm just going to give it a whiff. Oh, yeah. Perfect. My camera is stationary, so it's a little bit different than usual. I've never used this microphone before or this setup. So yeah, Brown University, that's a really good school. I had a professor who went to Brown, and he was a genius. There's the preface. So partial differential equations are used to describe physical phenomena. So if you are a physics person or an applied math major, you probably know a lot of partial differential equations. Whereas if you just went to college and got like a pure math degree, you might only take one course on this. I personally only took one course on this particular subject. So here's the contents. It starts off with where PDEs come from, and then it goes into waves and diffusions, reflections and sources, and then boundary problems. And then Fourier series. I know you're tempted to say Fourier, right? But you can say Fourier if you want, but I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Fourier series. And by the way, if anyone's chatting, I'm not looking at the chat yet because it's hard for me to see what you see, but I'll look at the chat in a minute. Harmonic functions, Green's identities and Green's functions, lots of topics, computation of solutions, waves in space, boundaries in the plane in space, general eigenvalue problems, distributions and transforms, PDE problems from physics. And a lot of this is, based on physics, nonlinear PDEs. And then there's some answers and hints to selected exercises. So the answers and hints, wow, what luck. Look at that. It went straight to the answers and hints. There's some, but there's typos in here, and those typos are painful. The book is really thin. Look how thin that is. It's really not a thick book. I remember I used to have this friend, I think his name was Jason, and he came over one day and we were sitting out in the back, and he brought over his big, thick engineering books. And I pulled this out and he goes, "What is that, man?" And I said, "Hey, this is a math book." And he was just shocked because it's so little compared to, the big, thick math books that oftentimes engineers use. But yeah, pretty cool book. Let's just open it to a random page. Looks like there's some exercises here. These exercises, by the way, are pretty ridiculous. And that's not really an exaggeration either. Some of the problems take forever, like pages and pages of work. Yeah, it talks about completeness. There are an infinite number of eigenvalues. Cool. So pretty advanced stuff. Partial differential equations. I'm just going to check the chat for a moment. I'm just going to leave it here. I'm just going to go back to YouTube and check the chat, see if anyone's still here. Because, whoa, there's people here. Hello, everyone. Let me just type something. Yeah, hey, what's going on? Reading the chat. Yeah, let me just answer some of the hello. Yeah, smiley face. There's 130 of us, Sorcerer. That's awesome. Cool. What is there to eat? I don't know, Kathleen, but I am hungry, so I really want pizza, but I don't have pizza right now, so I feel like the video is frozen. Is the video frozen for anyone? If anyone can hear me? Oh, maybe it's because I have it paused. Yeah. How many mangoes does it take? I don't know, maybe 500? Cool, good stuff. Not frozen. Okay, thank you. Thank you, GetOn436. Let's type thank you. Yes, the vid is frozen, Kathleen says. No! There it goes. All right, thank you. You can see my hand moving. Good, good, good. All right. Oh, someone gave me 10 bucks. This is awesome. Hold on, I got to say something. I forgot that was a thing that people did on YouTube. That's awesome. Any advice for logic? Yeah, a proofwriting book. The book by Vellman is a really good book if you want to learn mathematical logic. This book here, I'm going to go ahead and minimize the chat for a moment. So this book here is Partial Differential Equations by Walter Strauss, and it's a pretty good book on PDEs. By the way, I put links to all these books in the description of this video, but let's go to another book. Let's go to this one because this one is a pretty legendary book. This is a book that I really resisted buying for a long time. It's called Basic Mathematics, and it's by Serge Lang. And the reason I didn't want to buy this book was because it's expensive. I don't know how much it costs, but I'm pretty sure I think I paid like $45 for it, and it took me a long time to get that price. Usually they're like 60 bucks a piece, plus it's a paperback. So Serge Lang was a mathematician. He was very, very famous. He was very prolific. He wrote a lot of books. He had some really, I don't want to say weird. I'm just going to say he had some really interesting views about like the world and politics, like things that people didn't really agree with. For example, he didn't believe, he had some weird beliefs about like HIV and AIDS and stuff, like it wasn't real and stuff. Just some really strange things. Great teacher. Let's look at the contents of this book because it's really interesting. I like Lang's books. I collect Lang's books. And this is one that I really wanted to have in my collection. By the way, a hardcover version does exist. Someone left a comment on the review I did for this video, and it does exist, but I don't have it. I wish I did, but I don't have it. It's super rare. So if you have a hardcover, keep it. Someday it might be worth money, right? So numbers, it starts off with the integers, rules for addition, really, really basic mathematics, and that's why it's called basic mathematics. And then it goes into linear equations, and then real numbers, and then quadratic equations, and then some logic and mathematical expressions. Really unique book. There's no other math book like this in the world, in my opinion. Intuitive geometry, coordinate geometry, segments, rays, and line. Like, who does that? Who has an entire chapter on that? Well, Lang does. Trigonometry, some analytic geometry. By the way, it has trig, and it's kind of interesting. It talks about the sine and cosine, the tangent. It's just like a very different introduction from what you would see in a regular book. Some analytic geometry, functions, mappings. So that's really important. A lot of times people will take like the full calculus sequence and they don't really even know function notation. So we'll look at that in a minute. Complex numbers, induction and summations, and then determinants. And there's an index. When I first reviewed this book, I made the mistake to not check the back of the book. There are answers, even though it doesn't say there's answers. Look, answers to selected exercises. So he does provide answers in the back of the book. So that's really, really helpful. Now, it's not all the exercises, it's selected. For example, we're missing 8 and 9 here, but we have 7 and 10. So yeah, pretty cool. Let's look at the section on mappings. I'm gonna go back to the contents to find it. So 345, let's just take a look at that. Show you what I mean. I remember, when I was in college, I was doing some homework and my friends were like, what is that? And I'm like, well, it's a function. And they didn't even know like what that was because they weren't math majors, right? So if you're not a math major, you might not see this notation. And I've posted videos before, like proof videos, where I prove something about a function, and sometimes I'll get comments and people will say stuff like, oh, what is that notation? Like, they don't even understand the notation. So here it talks about mappings. He says, a mapping from S into S prime is an association. Yeah, so it takes an element X. I don't know if you can see that. Let me see if I can zoom in. Oh, technology. It takes an element X and S and associates it to an element F of X of S prime. And let's see if we can find some other notation or another example. So here's an example of a mapping. So this is a map from R into R squared. So R here is the set of real numbers, and R squared is the set of ordered pairs in the XY plane. So you can think of it graphically as the entire XY plane. This function takes a number, which is an element of the reals, so something from the real line, and maps it to an ordered pair. So for a value of t, the x coordinate is t squared and the y coordinate is t cubed. And so this is a really interesting map. Basically, this is the functional notation of the map, but you can describe it like this with these two equations. And actually, these equations are called parametric equations. Funny story, when I was in grad school, I had this teacher who was famous, very, very famous. He's famous enough to have his own Wikipedia. I always think when someone has a Wikipedia page, that's how you know they're famous, right? So, anyways, this guy, he asked us, what is the most important concept in all of mathematics? And people gave different answers. And in his opinion, it was a path. In other words, something like this, right? It takes a real number and maps it to an ordered pair. So basically you have, a path. And that's important, he said, because you can explain a path to anyone, a chemist, a physicist, an engineer, a mathematician. That's something they can all see and talk about. So anyway, it was kind of random, but R here, in this particular example, is called the domain of the function, and R squared is called the codomain. So extra life knowledge. If you take like a trig class or like a calc 2 class, you might do some stuff like this where you deal with parametric equations. I'm going to pause here for a moment and zoom back out and just check the chat just to see if people are still here and stuff. So also, for some reason, there we go. For some reason, it was recording my stream. It's really weird. I'm using OBS. Let me just check it out and see if anyone's here. Let's see. I don't know if anyone's here. Yeah, we're still here. Okay, thank you. Thanks, Quentin. Yeah, I was like, oh no. I'll read some of the comments. What do you think Lang's book is so different from other math books? What makes Lang's approach stand out? That's a good question, Max. So hello from Greece. Awesome. So yeah, so let me answer Max's question. Yeah, so I think Lang's books are special because the layout is so clean. And I think he just got really good at writing math books. I really think he just got really good at writing math books. Like, they're just so clean. Like, look at this. I don't know if you can see it, but I can. So like, it's just clean. It's just a clean layout. Just a really, really clean layout. And he sometimes omits details, like his linear algebra book is pretty good, but like a lot of the proofs are pretty like, I don't know, there's some details omitted, but it's cleaner. It's cleaner than another linear algebra book, which I'll show you in a minute. I do have a book on chaos theory, but I haven't even opened it because I have so many books. But I do. Yes, I do. I have to find it though. Yes. Yeah, Lang must had a lot of math friends. Yeah, Lang was ridiculous. Hi, hola, ¿cómo estás? From Argentina. That's really cool. Actually, I have a cousin who lives in Argentina. Yeah, it's fun. It's live. I can't edit anything out. So, hey, what's up? Cool. All right. Someone else had a question. Let me see if I can answer it. So I think I missed it. Yeah. So Lang's books. Yeah, very clean. Have you taken a look at the free real analysis text by Richard Bass? Says Danny. No, I haven't. I haven't looked at that book. And someone asked, why did I go to graduate school? Because I like math. Yeah, good game day today, Argentina. Yeah, so if someone wants to relearn basic math, starting from algebra, is Lang's basic math the one to start? No, I don't think so. Get in 436. I think this is just kind of a book that you would buy just to have fun with. I think you'd be better off like, yeah, someone said you might need some Khan Academy, or I have videos too. Just like a regular algebra book would be something that you could use. I think I've check out my book review playlist. I've got a bunch of like algebra books, and there's a bunch of them. Like the one by Blitzer is pretty good, but you can probably get like a used one because you need your algebra skills to be pretty good. But this is the fun book. It's unique. People love this book. I love the cover. It's super fancy. Let me show you another book because we were talking about linear algebra and. Oh, okay. For linear algebra, Serge Lang or Sheldon Axler? Both. I would say both. Get them both, right? And get this one too. This one, let me answer this question because it's cool. Quentin, why and when did you start collecting math books? So 2005, I started really liking math. I was a computer science major, and then I decided, I want to learn some more math. So I started buying like more advanced math books that I couldn't even understand, and I would understand some of them. So it's kind of always fun to buy books that you're not ready for, and just so yeah, I've got a ton of books. All right, so this book here. Let me I'm gonna minimize the chat so I can see my screen. I'll be right back. So this book here is a proof-based linear algebra book. That's what this is. Okay, this is a proof-based linear algebra book, and it was written by Friedberg, Enzel, and Spence. So in order to, like, if you went to college and, you were getting a degree in math, in order to take a class that uses this book, you would probably have to take a class on proofwriting, and you would probably have to take another linear algebra class using a beginner book, like maybe the one by Howard Anton or David Ley. Those are really popular, famous, extremely well-written books. Then after taking a full semester of linear algebra, or quarter, depending on where you live, you would take a second semester using this. And this book requires proofs. So I have a weird love-hate relationship with this book because it is very terse. Like the proofs are very, very rigorous. Let me see if I can give you an example so you can see how. Here's an example here. Like, look at this proof here. I mean, it's just very rigorous and very, you have to sit down and go through it carefully. So proof, the fact that L sub A is linear follows immediately from theorem 2.12. So you have to go back and look and see what that is. And then it says A, the jth column of, and then it's got that matrix representation there with ordered bases. So you have to know what all that notation means. So it's very, very overwhelming for students, I think, who are trying to learn to write proofs. This is the book I used for a linear algebra course, the second course I took. I ended up getting an A- in the class, and it was a very well-deserved A- because our test would always start with like 20 true-false questions, and they all seemed true. So yeah, I had a hard time. But this book is a great reference too. You can see I've done the circled exercises I've done. Yeah, didn't do those. Did that one. I felt like I did a lot more than what's circled there, but And this book has a great index. So it's one of those books that you buy and you have forever. You keep it forever and you reference it forever. In fact, out of all of the linear algebra books I have, I think my camera froze. I think it froze there. I'm just going to go to the chat really quick. It's hard to chat and pay attention. Yeah. Did it freeze? Froze? Okay. I'm going to see if I can restart the stream. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Oh, I see what happened. Yeah. So, okay. Yep, I know what it is. So everyone's still here, right? Cool. Okay, you hear me fine? Yeah, so what happened was it's my camera. So basically I use my iPhone to, my iPhone is the video on this stream. And it uses a program that connects to my PC, and the program froze. So I'm gonna just try to reset it really quick. I don't know if it's gonna work. Here we go. I'm gonna try it. I don't know. I was thinking that might happen. It always freezes. I need to get better gear, like the worst gear. This is trying to connect, but it's not connecting. Let's see. Try Wi-Fi. Trying again. Do incoming calls freeze the video? No. No one calls me, Danny. So, yeah, I'm trying. I'm going to try one more thing. Okay, let's see. Let's try Wi-Fi, USB, Wi-Fi, and let me try one more thing. Yeah, I think that's it. I think I'm gonna have to end the stream. I'm sorry. I guess I can try restarting my phone. I mean, I can try that. I don't think it's going to work, but I'll try. So I'm going to try that. So, yep. Incoming calls interrupt my radio stream. Interesting. I guess I'll just chat with everyone. Hey, no, I won't end it. I'll hang out, KO. I'll talk. I'm still here. Oh, hey, what's up, Cosmic? Math was too deep. The phone couldn't hang. All right, I'm going to restart my iPhone. Yeah, so my iPhone connects to OBS, which is a program that people use to stream. And the program I use to connect my iPhone to OBS is bad, so it freezes all the time. And I couldn't find a better one, so it's restarting. What was this stream about? I just have some math books I was showing people. I just kind of wanted to do a stream, and I thought I should just do it. All right, here we go. I'm going to try restarting the app that connects to my streaming stuff. Yeah, it doesn't work. I'm sorry. I got to get a better app. Anyways, I'm going to say bye in the chat. Take care, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and stop the stream. I won't be able to fix it. Well, I'll try to stream again. I'll see if I can figure out, fix my gear and stuff.